Hey guys, today I'm going to go over my thought process during inspection and kind of the routine I have for each solve I do officially. Hopefully this will be helpful to some of you learning some of these techniques, or it also just might be interesting to see how other people use their inspection time. That's kind of why I wanted to do this as well, to see if anyone else did things differently, because this is kind of things that you don't really think about or talk about that much. So yeah, enjoy the video. So the first thing that I do when I sit down is make sure that the cube is square under the cover. Basically when I do that, I just kind of will jiggle it a little like forward and back just to make sure that it's square, because it's kind of weird if you want to pick up the cube and then it's like this. It just saves a little bit of time to do that. But obviously make sure you're not like knocking the cover over anything or looking inside of it. That's just something I do to move it around a little bit, and it helps me. After that, I do a little bit of like deep breaths or something just to get myself calmed down there. I do the same thing every time, but that's something that's really different for each person. Everyone kind of has their own routine. Some people like to just jump into it right away and not think about it. Others take a little longer. So that's kind of personal, but so I won't go into mine really. But the next thing I'm just going to go over is like how I transition from inspection, or like waiting into my inspection. So right before I say that I'm ready and have the judge take off the cover, what I kind of I pretend I'm looking at the cube through the cover and seeing something like this, just where I have a white bar. And because that kind of forces my mind into immediately looking for that bar and for other bars as soon as the cover comes off, because it already thinks it's looking at something. Sometimes if I don't do something like that, I'll just be turning the cube and my mind's not like processing as much. So that's just something that personal that I do. And again, it just saves a little bit of time, but sometimes that can help you one look more faces. So I just pretend I'm looking at some sort of bar or some sort of shape here that's interesting that I want to look into. And even though it's not usually there when I take off the cover, my mind's already going and it's already looking for things like that. So the next thing that I do, and some people have pointed out before, I think I might have said it too, is just when the cover comes off, I rotate the cube around really fast, really quick, kind of get a glance of all the sides. And the reason I do that is to, well, first of all, to make sure that I'm not missing anything easy, because even if you are really advanced 2x2er, sometimes you miss like one or two move faces or something like that are just really silly and lead to easy cases, but you just latched onto something early and didn't check the other sides. So I always make sure that I at least look at each side. And then this also kind of just helps me gauge like how fast I need to be going when I'm one looking. So if I see that like I just had, so like if this red bar was the only thing really interesting, everything else was kind of blank, I know I'm probably going to be focusing most of my attention around this, seeing what I can do with that and playing around with that. Meanwhile, if there's a bunch of bars like there are here, there's like an orange L here, we have a white bar, yellow bar, a red bar, I know I'm going to be after looking around the cube more, and I need to be going a little faster during my inspection. Something that I've done more recently, and I think has helped a little bit, is I try to one look every side since I have enough time to do that. Or I try to at least attempt one looking each side. So I'll start off after I've kind of like one looked my original stuff or kind of seen what's around the cube. I just go through my head, okay, white, blue, orange, green, red, yellow, and look at each of those colors, see if there's a side that's worthwhile to kind of look at. If it's something that's like 6 or 7 moves or it's hard for me to one look, I just kind of abandon that one. But if it's something that's 3 or 4 or 5 moves or something like that, that's not something I normally do, but it's a little bit creative, and it might be leading to like a good case or some sort of cancellation that can help, even if it's not something that I would look at immediately. And that just helps force me to look at more sides, look at more faces, and it just gives me a direction to look, knowing that I haven't already looked at that face before. And so just getting more options is great. So once I've locked down the solution that I'm going to do, I go through it in my head, each move, pretty quickly, but I just go through to make sure that I know kind of what finger tricks I'm doing. Though it's pretty similar for each like algorithm, but sometimes when you add in the AUFs or how your hands are going to be set up before the algorithm, it can be a little bit different. Sometimes you might like do a U2 flick with your right hand versus your left hand, and just small things like that. I make sure that I know exactly what I'm going to be doing, and I'm not turning like uncertainly, and so that helps me go like more smoothly. My turning is more accurate and just like smoother in general, so I have faster solves. And so I think you kind of see that in some of my official solves where I'll be slightly moving the top layer just like subconsciously as I'm doing that. And I mean, it's completely legal because it's just like a degree or two, but yeah. yeah, you can kind of see it in that. So the last part of this is really just how you're positioning the cube and timer. For this, I kind of put my cube somewhere out here. I know some friends, I think Luigi, kind of puts it even closer to the timer, not touching it to make sure that it's a legal start and everything. But they put it closer. I don't really know how they do that exactly because I have to feel like I have to go in too much and it makes it hard to start turning earlier. So I like mine out a little further and that helps me. The other thing is I think my right hand goes a little bit forward. It's still legal, but just kind of something that developed over time. Just another subconscious thing that I don't really think about, but just happens. So hopefully some of you found this video helpful, and if not, just interesting. If you have any ideas or suggestions for things that you do during inspection, or you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. Thanks.